Ethan was 29, a new dad with a toddler who still woke up at night, a wife who tried to smile through exhaustion, and a secret he guarded harder than his phone passcode credit card debt. From the outside, Ethan looked like a responsible guy. He went to work, he came home, he helped with diapers and dishes. No gambling, no partying, no dumb friends dragging him down. But that's exactly how the trap works for a lot of young fathers. Your life is packed with responsibilities, and you start telling yourself the same lie every month. Just push a little longer. Next month will be better. Next month wasn't better. It was heavier. It started small the way it always does. Diapers, formula, a surprise car repair, a higher than usual utility bill, a medical copay. Ethan swiped the card once and told himself, I'll pay it off. Then he swiped again because the paycheck didn't stretch. Then he started paying the minimum because the minimum felt like relief, until interest began. Stacking interest, and the debt stopped being a number and started becoming a rope. At night, when the apartment finally went quiet, Ethan sat at the kitchen table with the lights dimmed and the sink full of dishes. He opened his banking app like someone opening a wound. The balance, the due date, the minimum payment, the warning messages. His eyes would blur not because he couldn't read, but because his brain refused to accept that he was drowning while still going to work every day. He wasn't lazy. That's what made it cruel. He'd made promises 100 times. Tomorrow I'll wake up early. Tomorrow I'll fix this. Tomorrow I'll apply for better jobs. Tomorrow I'll learn a skill. Tomorrow I'll start a side hustle. And every morning the same ritual played out. 5:00 a.m. Alarm. Hand reaches out. Snooze. Because he was tired. Because his kid cried at 2:00. Because he'd carried the whole day and had nothing left. And because tomorrow is a warm blanket for people who don't want to face today. His wife Maya didn't nag him. That was worse. Sometimes she'd ask softly, do we have enough for next week? And Ethan would snap sharp, defensive, angry at the question, angry at the world, angry at himself. Then he'd hate himself for snapping. But guilt doesn't pay bills. Guilt just steals sleep. The moment that cracked him didn't look dramatic from far away. No screaming fight, no police, no eviction notice. Their toddler got a fever one night. Not life-threatening, just that relentless heat and crying that turns a small apartment into a pressure cooker. Maya stood rocking the baby, whispering, can you grab more fever medicine and electrolyte packets? Ethan nodded, grabbed his jacket, and stepped into the hallway. Then he checked his wallet. Empty. He opened his banking app. Barely anything. He stared at his credit card already near the limit and felt something ugly crawl up his throat. Not sadness, not fear, humiliation, the kind that makes your skin hot, the kind that doesn't let you talk about it, the kind that makes a grown man stand still in a hallway realizing he's terrified of a bill that costs less than a dinner out. He did what he always did, he swiped the card anyway, just this once, one last time. He came home with the medicine, and Maya thanked him, and that thank you hit him like a punch, because it reminded him why he had to change. Later, when the baby finally slept, and Maya drifted off on the couch, Ethan sat alone at the table. The apartment hummed with the sound of the fridge. He opened his phone again, and saw the words that had become a nightly curse, payment due tomorrow. And right then, he understood something most people refuse to admit. He didn't need motivation, he needed a system. Because the life of a young father doesn't get less busy. Your day belongs to your job, your evening belongs to your family, your night belongs to exhaustion. If you wait until you're free, you'll be waiting forever while the debt grows teeth. Ethan looked at the time. 7 a.m. He whispered, I don't need hype, I need a schedule. He set his alarm for 5:00 a.m. But this time, he didn't set it as a cute self-improvement goal. He set it like a survival appointment. Then he wrote 3 numbers on a sticky note and slapped it on the fridge where he couldn't avoid it. 20, 20, 2, 0, 6, 0 minutes. No negotiations. The next morning, the alarm buzzed at 5:00 a.m. Ethan's body immediately argued back. His brain started manufacturing excuses like it was getting paid to lie. You barely slept. You'll do it tomorrow. You need rest. Just 10 more minutes. His hand reached toward the phone, and he almost hit snooze. But then he remembered the hallway, the empty wallet, the fever, the shame. He sat up like someone had yanked a cord in his spine. He put his feet on the floor and stood. First 20 minutes light exercise. Not to look good. Not to become a morning routine guy. To wake the machine up. Push-ups against the counter. Squats beside the couch. A quick stretch until his joints stopped complaining. He didn't chase pain. He chased blood flow. He needed his brain online. Second 20 minutes. Learn a money skill. Not random inspiration videos. Not I watched a podcast so I'm productive. He picked skills that pay basic editing, simple copywriting, using AI tools to work faster, and sharpening the core skill of his industry so he could upgrade his job. He learned like a desperate man because he was. Third 20 minutes, do the work immediately. This was the part most people skip because it's uncomfortable. Learning feels good, doing exposes you. But Ethan understood a brutal truth. Learning without doing is mental entertainment. It's how broke people feel busy while staying broke. So he applied 1 job application, 2 emails, a tightened resume, a tiny portfolio sample, a short freelance listing, a message to a potential client. Not perfect, just real. Day 2, he failed. The alarm went off. He snoozed. He woke up later and saw the sticky note on the fridge, and for a second he felt the familiar urge to dramatize it. I blew it. I'm not that guy. Then he heard a harsher voice in his head, the one he'd been avoiding. Stop acting like a victim. You slipped once. Get back up. So, Ethan made a small change that weak people hate because it removes excuses. He placed his phone across the room. If he wanted to shut it off, he had to stand up. He also cut his nighttime scrolling by 30 minutes because he finally admitted the truth. It wasn't that he needed more rest. He was donating his sleep to his phone. The first week felt like punishment. His eyes were heavy, his muscles sore, his patience tested. But something strange happened around day 10. The mornings started to feel quiet in a good way. Like the world had stopped grabbing him by the collar. No boss, no toddler crying, no notifications. Just a clean slice of time that belonged to him. Around day 14, he woke up before the alarm. Not because he became a superhero, because his body adapted. And once his body adapted, his identity started to adapt too. He wasn't a man hoping things would change. He was a man building change daily in small, boring chunks. Then, life tried to break him again. Day 18, a bank notification hit, late fee applied. Another penalty, another reminder that the hole was still there. He felt raise up. That voice returned. What's the point? I'm trying and it still hurts. And that's where most people quit, right before the turn. But Ethan did something different. He told himself the truth. The kind that doesn't sound motivational, but saves your life. Of course it hurts. You're paying for months of pretending. You don't get to swipe your way into comfort and then cry when discipline feels heavy. So he kept going. 20 minutes move. 20 minutes learn. 20 minutes execute. No speeches. No drama. Just showing up. On day 30, at 5:48 a.m., Ethan sent an application email. A normal email, except it was early. So early that the hiring manager actually saw it near the top of their inbox. They replied fast. Can you interview today? Ethan's heart kicked. He sat in the interview later that morning and he didn't try to sound like a motivational speaker. He sounded like a guy who had receipts. He showed small samples. He explained what he'd learned. He spoke clearly because he'd been training his brain in that quiet hour every day. That afternoon, the offer came through. Better pay, better schedule, a real step up. Ethan didn't jump around the room. He just sat down and exhaled. Like his ribs had been held in a vice for months, and someone finally loosened it. That night, he told Maya the truth. Not the cleaned up version, the real version. "I'm in debt," he said, "but I'm fixing it, and I'm not going to hide it anymore." Maya stared for a moment, then nodded slowly. She wasn't relieved because the debt disappeared. She was relieved because her husband was back steady, honest, in control. Ethan kept waking up at 5:00 a.m., even after the new job. Because 5 a.m. didn't make him rich overnight. It did something better. It gave him the steering wheel back. And that's the part people don't get. A young father doesn't need motivation. Motivation is a sugar rush. It spikes and dies. A young father needs a schedule, a system, a non-negotiable hour. Because if you wait until you're free, you'll never be free. So if you're in the same place, Ethan was stressed, broke, buried under minimum payments, and telling yourself, tomorrow. Here's the hard truth. Nobody is coming to rescue you, and that's not depressing. It's powerful. Set the alarm for 5:00 a.m. Put the phone across the room. Protect your sleep. Then run the simplest plan that actually works. Move for 20. Learn for 20. Execute for 20. Do it long enough that opportunity can finally see you and stop being soft. Your future family doesn't need your excuses. They need your discipline.